when you build something from the foundation up and it's from the ground up, the only time you should be bringing in other builders is for other spots when you want to expand and making sure you get your net worth off of it and they understand what y'all built and that y'all are builders and that they should be fortunate enough to come along and build this aside and along with you for the future.
So first off, I feel like Moose intended that for me. I feel like it was like a low-key message, like, you need to hear this right now. Like, you may like the interview, you may not, but listen to this particular part. Well, go ahead.
Hey, the choice is yours. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do it like that. The choice is yours. Yeah.
Set up what this was about and all.
Yeah. No, my favorite part about this is, you know, and I think what I've noticed through experience is if the intention for you is to keep your core together, right? And I talked about like to add more context to the clip throughout, just before that, they were saying like, how were you able to stay together for so long? It's like Locke's 20 years, you guys have still been together all this time. And he was saying, well, we made a pact growing up because they're also from New York, but they're out of New Rochelle.
Yeah.
So they were one of the areas in the city or in New York, really, that was under the radar. Like radio never really showed love outside of the 5 main boroughs. So for them, the way to do that and not let money and other things interfere was to keep this kind of close-knit, nobody can come in. Now, what I've noticed from experience, and this is where I'm going with it, what I've noticed from experience is when you allow other people to come with you to opportunities, because at some point you start to get a level of success that everybody wants to pick your brain, everybody wants to see if you got 5 minutes to sit down and chat, they want to take you out to lunch and have coffee. Like that's a standard. Mm-hmm. So what I like of what he's saying here is, well, if you want to build and stay together forever, don't let the outsider come to you and say, hey, here's what I want to present to you, or here's what I think you should do. He's saying, nope, you dish out the opportunity as you expand to the people that you think are the right ones, and you make it clear to them, hey, if you're going to come into the universe, or if you're going to come into our ecosystem, here's what we need you to play, because we're the original builders.
Right.
If your goal, again, is to stay tight-knit together, that's the way to do that. But of course, if you just want maximum growth or whatever, you're going to allow people to come to you with opportunities and expose gaps, but just know that they're going to come with the intention of exposing gaps in your process so that you can lean on them for something, right? And typically, the more people you let into your foundation, they're not going to care for what you've built with the same level of intensity that you're going to have. So that was my main reason for it, Nix. I just kind of liked how it gave us an opportunity to break down the 2 levels of partnerships, right? Mm-hmm. There's one way to do it where you're dishing out opportunities. You might even say no to money. You might say no to more growth that way. But if you're someone who's just really about keeping your core tight, that might be the way to do it, or take the longer way to do it. So yeah, that's part of it that I really thought was dope.
Yeah, and I think I could speak for me where I'm in a sense of building, right? And the question of who to partner with and everything like that has already came to the table. And this clip is definitely something that is very timely, because you look at it like I've seen certain situations, not mine, but certain situations where it's almost they built something and now it's like the person who's coming in either feels entitled, or because I'm coming in, the percentage is higher, but you're the one that built it. And I think it's being very confident enough in yourself and what you're growing and what you have built, that people are going to come to you, and don't fold because they may have a bigger platform. They may be of, higher status, whatever it may be. You're you're the prize. You're the one that has potential to really blow things out the water. And you have to be strategic and mindful with who you partner and who you sign the dotted line with. Because if you built it and something happens, that's not the end of it. You could build something again. So you are more of the prize than necessarily the business or the situation or whatever. So you have to put an extra level of confidence. You have to put an extra level of dollar signs to even yourself and what you're building, regardless of who comes into the situation or who wants to partner, who wants to sponsor, whatever it may be. Because in that clip, my man was like, all right, we built something and, people are coming now with their checkbook. And so what would be your advice? And that was the advice he gave. And we get very blinded with the checkbook. We get very blinded by the status. We get very blinded by the possible opportunities, in which you got to look back and be like, hey, yo, I built this. Hey, like, I did this.
Right.
You coming to me. Like, what is it really there for? What's the situation that you are offering me? Like, your presence doesn't do nothing for me. You honestly are not going to do anything for me. You think because you're attached to me, or I'm attached to you, quote unquote, that's good enough. And that's sometimes not. I've seen it in both ends, where if that person that you are partnering with and you built it does not put energy towards it, it's a pointless partnership. You're doing everything by yourself. But we get very blinded by the name. And I have gotten very blinded by the name at times too. I'm not going to take myself out of certain things. I'm speaking off of a lot of experience as well. So I see what you did there, Moose. I see what you did there. But this was a really good clip because it honestly opened my eyes to even certain current situations that I have, and like just kind of like a slap in the face, like, yo, hold on. Wait, hey, rethink this real quick. So Moose is slick.